Given name and role, theatre hats are better for communication, teamwork, staff engagement, theatre efficiency, represent an environmental and cost saving, are beneficial to patient care, and there's no perceivable downside. Is there something else we're missing which is getting in the way?
To answer that question, we set up a hidden camera experiment to see if this woman would stand up at the sound of this tone, simply because everyone else is. You might be thinking you'd never go along with this. Or would you? After just 3 beeps, and without knowing why she's doing it, this woman is now conforming perfectly to the group. But what happens if we take the group away?
Elaine, please.
Okay, now she's alone. The crowd is gone and nobody is watching her, except our hidden cameras. What do you think she'll do? She's now conforming to the rules of the group without them even being there. Now, watch what happens when we introduce another outsider who doesn't know the rules.
For a noon appointment.
Have a seat and they'll be out in just a couple minutes.
Great,
thanks so much.
Everybody was doing it, so I thought I was supposed to.
Think she'll teach the new guy what to do? We kept the cameras rolling as more unsuspecting patients arrived. And slowly but surely, what began as a random rule for this woman has now become the social norm for everyone in this waiting room. Here to explain what's going on in their brains is Jonah Berger of the University of Pennsylvania.
This sort of internalized form of herd behavior is part of what we call social learning. Starting at a very early age, when we see members of our group perform a task, our brains literally reward us for following in their footsteps.
When I saw everybody stand up, I felt like I needed to join them. Otherwise, I'm like excluded. Once I decided to go with it, then I felt much more comfortable.
Conformity is how we become socialized, but it can also cause us to develop bad habits or repeat past wrongs.
And it's why even this rebel, who wasn't standing for any of this nonsense, eventually joined the ranks. And the only thing more shocking than seeing how easily conformity affects the way you act is that similar forces are subconsciously shaping the way you think right now.
We're very strong social conformists, challenge ingrained cultural beliefs, and we get very upset.
A group of scientists placed 5 monkeys in a cage and in the middle a ladder with bananas on top. Every time a monkey went up the ladder, the scientists soaked the rest of the monkeys with cold water. After a while, every time a monkey went up the ladder, the others beat up the one on the ladder. After some time, no monkey dared go up the ladder, regardless of the temptation. Scientists then decided to substitute one of the monkeys. The first thing this new monkey did was go up the ladder. Immediately, the other monkeys beat him up. After several beatings, the new member learned not to climb the ladder, even though he never knew why. A second monkey was substituted, and the same occurred. The first monkey participated on the beating for the second monkey. The replacements repeated until what was left was a group of 5 monkeys that, even though never received a cold shower, continued to beat up any monkey who attempted to climb the ladder. If you asked the new group of monkeys why the beatings took place, the answer would probably be,
Well, I don't know. That's just how things are done around here.
I dare you, wear a name and role hat when next in theatre and see what happens. It's fascinating. I hope the response changes over time, but for some, it's been like this. Sometimes doing the right thing takes courage. Intimidation can be driven and perpetuated by top-down hierarchical frameworks. Frontline ideas from those who best understand their work environments are easily squashed. Within one of my own hospitals, we're still not allowed to present the name and role hat initiative. As the intimidation persists, so does the status quo. And unfortunately across the world, every day things get a little bit worse. Imagine for a moment training students to be the best they could possibly be at passing an exam, and then every day making that exam just a little bit harder. Over time we might expect to see an increasing failure rate like this, except this is actually the annual adverse event rate in the NHS. Every day our workplaces increase in complexity with new drugs, new equipment, and a constantly renewing workforce. The greater the complexity, the greater the risk of error. If the interventions we put in place to deal with these errors only further add to the complexity, more policies, more alerts, more forms to fill in, then we design our hospitals to increasingly fail. Estimating the magnitude of the medical error problem is difficult, yet there's little doubt it's big and upsetting, and at the moment it only appears to be increasing. We need to change. Yet what hope do we have of delivering change while at constant threat of being beaten up in the monkey cage? Well, to understand something is to free oneself from it. So step outside the cage. We understand. We're part of a rapidly developing framework which harnesses a faster, more agile way of delivering the interventions required for patient care to improve, which allows frontline staff, manufacturers, managers, system safety experts and you to work collaboratively and transparently, sharing information and driving projects to fruition to deliver the best in patient care. We're changing healthcare culture, realigning what we're doing with why we're doing it. As well as ensuring better staff identification, there's many other projects to see to fruition and many lives to be saved. And through working together, we'll create the best environment for patient care.